Hey everybody, welcome to the Keto Mom page. Normally, I would be going over this book in the morning. If you're just tuning in and you're like, hello, we did not go over Atomic Habits this morning, you are right. Because I didn't quite forget, but I got distracted. But I want to make sure we talk about it today. So here is the deal. As you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? It is late. I am from Minnesota. I think it's probably 10 o'clock. If you're watching this live, it is late. And it's only late because we have been up super early. We had some friends spend the night at our home in a tent. And the kids have been either in the water or fishing. Like, our day was crazy. If you go watch my stories, we fished and played on the water and fished some more. And I think my kids were in the water from 8 in the morning until just now. So this is like an exhausted sun face. But listen, just because I did not talk about this in the morning, I want to make sure that we go over chapter 6 because we're going to make sure not to skip a day. It's not a big deal if you were just following along, or I'm just not going to skip a day because the book is super powerful. So I do realize different people watch lives at different times. So maybe you're watching and you're like, what in the world is she talking about? Maybe you don't ever watch my morning lives. My goal every morning, and we've been doing it for a little bit of time, is to go over a book and just a chapter in the morning with you. So we did a book called Rain or Shine in April, right? May. And then we did The Miracle Morning in the beginning of June. And then now we're going through Atomic Habits. And the point of this is to help you understand the power of getting your mindset right. I think books are powerful, and not recreating the wheel, but going, I want to achieve a goal and clearly I'm not reaching it. So what do I have to do? So the Miracle Morning, I thought in the beginning of June, is powerful because it really sets up your day to help you own your day, right? So we're going through this book. It'll take us into part of July, and it's the power of systems and habits. And so one of my favorite sentences in the book, and we read it, I think it was in chapter 3, and he says, his name is James Clear, and he says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And so we're going to go through, if you have not seen any of these, welcome. Some of you are like, what in the world? Listen, we share recipes and all of the things keto on here all day long. The number one thing I am passionate about, besides all of that stuff, is helping you get your mindset right. Because if you get that right, guess what? You're going to make the better decisions. You're going to go for the walk or run. You're not going to hit the snooze button. You're going to make better food choices. Or if you do make a bad food choice, right, or you fall off or have a cheat meal or a cheat day, you don't beat yourself up and you get back on track, right? And so that's what I'm doing here, is I'm either going to read to you or you're going to read with me. And so we're going to do this every day. We're on chapter 6. So I think this chapter is absolutely incredible. I talk about all of the chapters being absolutely incredible, but this one makes the most sense. It is by far something that you can switch overnight if you take action, right? So this is not where you just listen to me talk, but this is where you get to either read along with me or listen, and then you take immediate action. I'm going to tell you what to do as soon as we're done, because it will 100% make a shift or a pivot in the food choices that you're eating, in the snacking that you're doing, just by this one thing. But I'm going to start by reading the beginning of it. So super, super powerful. So where are you tuning in from? Are you reading the book with me? If you're not a big deal. And how was your day? I'd love to know. So listen to this. It's super great. I'm going to read you 2 paragraphs, so bear with me. Motivation is overrated. Environment often matters more. 100%. So Ann Thorndike, I think that's her name, Ann Thorndike, a primary care physician of Massachusetts General Hospital. It's kind of dark in my space. In Boston, had a crazy idea. She believed that she could improve the eating habits of thousands of hospital staff and visitors without changing their willpower or motivation in the slightest way. In fact, she didn't plan on talking to anybody about it. So a doctor was like, I'm going to change the way people are eating from the hospital cafeteria. just by making a couple little tweaks, and I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to see what happens. It's really incredible and very much oh, duh, it totally makes sense. So what she did is her and her colleagues designed a 6-month study to alter the choice architecture of the hospital cafeteria. They started by changing how the drinks were arranged in the room. Originally, the refrigerator was located near the cash register, and in the cafeteria, it was filled with only soda. The researchers added water as an option along with the soda. So they didn't take the soda out, they just add water in there, right? They placed baskets around the cafeteria with water bottles next to different food stations. Soda was still in the primary refrigerator, but water was now available in all locations. So that was one thing. There was water that she placed in the entire cafeteria. Over the next 3 months, the number of soda sales dropped 11.4%. Meanwhile, sales of water bottles increased 25.8%. And they made similar adjustments to different things in the cafeteria, food and snack, and just by visibly seeing things, people chose the better option. People often choose products not because of what they are, but because of where they are located. If I walk into a kitchen and I see a plate of cookies, I grab the plate of cookies, or I grab a cookie. Does anybody do that? Like, you're not hungry, you just ate, but the cookie or the dessert or something is in front of you. Have you found yourself like, oh, it's not a big deal, and you just grab it? Women, maybe men, but women, do you ever sit around, if you're at a party or a friend's house, and it seems like the women always gravitate towards the kitchen, and there's always snacks on the kitchen, and you're sitting and laughing and eating, and you're just eating, right? You're mindlessly eating because it's right in front of you. Your environment is super, super important. Okay, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Yes. So a couple things that I have helped walk people through is, they'll say, I'm snacking all the time. And I'm like, listen, where are the snacks in your home? Are they on the counter? Are they at eye level? Or we have a snack cupboard, and it's low. Like, it really irritates me to bend down, to pull the drawer out, to look what's in it, right? So if you keep snacks out of your eye view, not on the counters, not something where you can go and grab something and go jump on the couch. If you follow my stories, I jokingly, the other day, I watched my husband. We just ate supper, And we had some of those little keto cluster things on our counter, and I watched him walk by it, see the bag, grab it, hop on the couch, and he was going to eat it. And I said, hey, babe, are you hungry? I was like, we just ate. And he's like, I'm just going to sit here. And I was like, no, are you hungry? And I said, I coach people on this all the time. And we were joking back and forth, and I actually did a story on it. And I said, I'm not making fun of you, and I'm not telling you can't eat them. And he's like, it says keto. Yes. And that's wrong, right? Because so many people fall into this trap of, if it's in your eyesight, you grab it. If it's easy to access, you grab it. If it says keto and you're not hungry, but it says keto, you grab it, right? Oftentimes people overeat, or they grab what's the easiest and the quickest. So something that you can do before the end of the weekend, my action step for you is go look in your kitchen, and what is in the sight, what snacks are on the counter, what snacks do you not want to see, what are some things you can put low if your kids snack on them but you don't want to, even in your refrigerator, right? He talks in this book about how you can switch things, and if you put them behind in the back, you're less likely to grab the snacks in the back. You're more likely to grab the things in the front or in the doors. So if you can switch some things in your home, make them lower, put them in the back, you're less likely to grab them, right? So that's super, super awesome. I thought, that's so good. Let me keep going. All right, the most powerful of all human sensory abilities, however, is vision. So he goes through sensory, all of our 5 senses. Yes. He goes through all of our senses. He talks about the power of them and how they play a role in our life. And then he just says, but the most powerful is our vision and looking at things. He tells lots of stories, And he says, here's how you can change it, right? Here's a couple simple action steps for you. If you want to remember to take your medicine, you put your pills by your faucet in your bathroom. Medication. If you want to practice your guitar more frequently, you place your guitar in the middle of your living room. If you want to remember to send more thank you cards, you keep your stationery on your desk. If you want to drink more water, fill up a few water bottles each morning and place them in the common areas of your home. I thought that was great. We just naturally have cups and water bottles all over our house. Sorry, I got distracted by somebody's comment. I'm like, what are you saying sorry for? Don't worry. If somebody's disrespectful, I knock you out. So it's fine. I love to say on my page, take off your black robe when you're here. Do you know what that means? It means there's no judgment. I love this community because there are so many people that can be lazy keto, low carb, dirty keto. There's a lot of paleo people on here because there's so many things you can learn. And so, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to say that because I don't tolerate things that are disrespectful. So, that's it. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to keep moving on. All right. So, if you want to make a habit a big part of your life, you have to make the cue bigger part of your environment. You have to look at your environment. If you work at an office, right, and you have a desk drawer that's full of candy, then you have to get rid of the candy. If you find yourself opening up the refrigerator and grabbing a soda, either take the soda out or replace it with water. So there's little things that you can do in your environment where you spend most of your time so that you don't grab the snacks. Is this making sense? I hope it's making sense. Be the designer of your world and not merely the consumer. You guys, this is so good. So good, okay? Be the designer of your world and not merely the consumer. It's incredible. For those of you who are asking about ketones, I'll totally message you and answer those. I need to go to bed. I loved this chapter and I'm easily getting distracted, so I'm so sorry. But I'm going to tell you this. This book is incredible. This was one of my favorite chapters. He goes on and tells some more stories. You have to read it. And he's at the end of each chapter, he gives you a chapter summary, which I love. And basically just says, it's easier to build a new habit in a new environment because you are not fighting against old habits. So we're going to go through this every day. Tomorrow, it won't be till the afternoon because we go to church pretty early in the morning. The book is amazing. Here's the deal. And here's what I will tell you over and over again. If you private message me, which I talk to a lot of you every single day, is I can tell you what to eat. I can tell you how we started. I can give you a foods list. I can tell you I've been drinking ketones for 6 years. They're a great helper. I love them. I can tell you about keto snacks. I can tell you about anything, right? Drink more water. If you're stressed out, guess what? Your body's going to hold on to some of that fat. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's going to affect your fat loss. So many things. But I want you to know something. If you don't believe that you can do this, if you don't wake up and you love yourself and your mindset is cruddy all day long, then guess what? You're going to find yourself grabbing the cookies, skipping the workout, griping at your kids, griping at your spouse, making poor choices, wanting to reach a goal, right? You kind of get inspired sometimes. You're like, I'd love to reach that goal. Sure, I can do that. But if you don't put in the discipline and a little bit of hard work to create some habits and some systems, then the likelihood of you reaching that goal is unlikely. Or if you do, keeping it there is unlikely. So I feel like I am a hamster sometimes, repeating the same things over and over again. But did you know that you have to hear something about 17 times before you actually put it into play? Or before you hear it and take action? Pretty crazy, huh? 17 times. And not just from me, from other people. It's like you have to have 17 different little things speaking at you before the average person decides to put something into play. So hopefully this is your 15th or 16th time. Take the basic action steps of the book and do it. And the Miracle Morning that we went through last week talked about how the first 10 days of changing a bad habit to a good one is terrible. He said it's unbearable. People hate it. And then the next 10 days, which is going in from day 10 to 20, is fine. It's just uncomfortable, but you're making it a habit. And then the last 10 days is inspiring, right? So if you can make it for 30 days, you're going to help get yourself into a repetitive pattern of consistently taking action or changing the bad habit or not going down the street that has the donuts or not hitting your snooze button by changing little things. But you have to do it. So tomorrow, what you're going to do is you're going to look into your kitchen. You're going to change everything around that is too easy for you to grab. Either get rid of it, put it below, out of your eyesight. You can do that. If you don't do it, then you don't want it bad enough. If you do it, that's a great action step for you. So the book is incredible. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great night. I'm always here to help. So message me with your questions, and that's all I've got. So our family is going to go to bed, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.